through the shadows where the storms collide. She stands with courage as her guide. Her whispers echo louder than screams, faithful to God through broken dreams. She's the silent storm, unshaken, strong. Through the trials, she's where hope belongs, a survivor standing tall, unbowed. Her voice a beacon breaking the cloud. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the table set for stories shared, no room for regret. At 5:30 sharp, hearts come alive. Together we heal, together we thrive. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the table set for stories shared, no room for regret. At 5:30 sharp, hearts come alive. Together we heal, together we thrive.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome over here. I'm sorry I'm late. I was tied up somewhere and time had flew by me just that fast. So let me trying to share to let everybody know that I am live on tonight. This is my Thursday night um real table talk that I come on at on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And let me go ahead and share on my wall to let people know that I'm live. Now today we're just gonna be talking about do you remember there's some old things I just want to talk about that happened years ago and that shook the nation. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a little bit of that, and they're gonna bring up a little bit more stuff. Okay. Um and of course I'm gonna talk about Ramika a little bit too. But Ramika is dedicated on Tuesdays. I'll talk about her on Tuesdays, just about my whole life. And thank you, Vibrant, for coming through and dropping my information down. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up while you are into my live chat. Okay. Just 1 second. Let me see who came in here. Hey, Coco. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Peace and blessings. Thank you all for tuning in on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. You know, I'm just so excited, about a little bit of everything. God is good all the time. God is good, okay? So, but before we get started, before we get started, what I want to talk about, do you remember? First, I want to welcome everybody into the Royal Jewish Palace Room, known as Safe Haven, where it's real talk with real people in real life. You will see God's love, peace, joy, happiness, unity, and respect. And please hit the thumbs up as you come into this live, please. And if you are a content creator, can you please share me out as well? I'm not long-winded. On my live chats, I'll only be on here for an hour, okay? Okay, this live stream is just a discussion I am talking about today. Some is going to be my opinion, and some I'm going to be reading you different articles and stuff, or going to be my thought. But sometimes I might say something, you know what I'm saying? But the shoe fit, just wear it, okay? That's all you got to do, okay? So, what we're going to talk about today, that this video is going, that we are going down history of crime and events that shook the nation, okay? So we're going to go back down memory lane, and we're going to see if you remember these things that we're going to talk about them today, okay? Like I said, we definitely going to talk about, Ramika, because that's my main I've been speaking on this since September. Some things that I'm going to talk about that towards the end. Okay. Like I say, her day is on Tuesdays. Okay. But like I told you guys on Tuesdays, when I do Thursday, I might bring her up every now and then. Okay. So remember, this is because I talk about a little bit of everything over here. Okay. I have always have been. I am monetized over here, but my mind's I don't get paid every month like everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? I do not rely on YouTube to pay me. Okay. So everybody else get a check every month. I don't. I might get a check every 5 or 6 months. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't go live every day. When I do go live, I only go live for an hour. But I like what I do. Okay. I don't get cash ups over here. I don't get super chats up over here. No, I don't over here. What I do because this is what I love to do. Okay. So, and I'm going to read my copyright disclaimer because I'm going to be reading some other articles or news articles. Okay. So, my copyright disclaimer, let me share it with you guys. You guys can go ahead and read it along with me. So, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Um, let me see that. They didn't change it so much up over here. They move my stuff all around. I used to be able to go um, right to it. Here we go. Hope you guys can see it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and read it together. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allows it's made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips. The balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so let me remove that out you guys' way. Okay, not my ticker. Sorry. I want to move that out you guys' way. Okay, there we go. Thank you all for tuning in again. Somebody else walked in. Hi, Brian. Hello. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings to you, Brian. Thank you for tuning in. We just talking about enough one cares. Ban me? Why you want me to ban you? Hmm? You can just get out and go ban yourself. Hey, Alex. Hello. This is for Lisa's YouTube channel. You just entered to the Royal Jewels Palace room, and we're gonna be talking about some things that happened way back then, and that is titled "Do You Remember?" It's real stories over here on my channel. To the ones who do not know me, I do talk about real life issues. I talk about what's going on in the world, and right now I am on Ramika Blackman case, but she's only coming on Tuesday. If you don't want to come in here, Alice, you can leave, okay? You can leave, okay? You can leave. This is not my live streams over here. It's not for everybody, okay? Either can listen to this or just move on. Okay, this is a non-drama channel. If you're looking for drama, you in the wrong place. You definitely in the wrong place. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Delete your comment. Okay. So let's go for any of you guys. Keep on going. And you don't have to be here. I don't have time for little trolls and stuff. People playing little bitty games, you know, being immature people. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I keep my chat clean. Okay. What we're going to talk about on today, and I'm like I said, I'm only going to be here only for an hour. 6:30, I will be done. I will be out. And what we're going to talk about today, do you remember? Let me get it pulled up. Champion, you okay? Champion, you okay? You okay, champion? Hold on, you guys. I check on my dog. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. You guys. Let me delete this comment. There you go. Okay, now first we're gonna talk about on today. Two things I want to talk about on today. And the first one I want to talk about is this young lady. Her name, this happened way back in what year? Back in 1992. Okay. So hold on one second, you guys. Just hold tight. I'm gonna play my music real quick and just hold on real tight. I got to check on my dog. My dog is it's like he's trying to get sick on me. I hope not. Hold on. Give me a few minutes. Let me just put this on real quick. Just listen to this real quick. Hold on. Hey, you guys, I'm back. I apologize. I apologize. I'm back. Had to take care of my dog. Well, anyway, I'm so sorry. So please forgive me. Well, we're going to talk about this story that happened way back in in the early part of '90s of a black young black lady, young girl. She was only 15 years old at the time. She went to a store to go buy her some juice, and the lady in the store, this happened in Los Angeles. The lady in the store thought that she was trying to steal some orange juice. The girl had money on her, so she put the juice down on the counter and stuff, and she walked out, and the lady shot her in the back, and she got charged for manslaughter, but did not have to do no time in jail. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that story to you. Okay, here we go. A couple of stories that I want to read. Okay, we should not know. The audio version of this story contains a graphic description of violence. Okay, on April 29th, 1992, the city of Los Angeles erupted into 6 days of uprising. Over 60 people died, over 2,000 were injured. There was widespread theft and property damages to the area. A thousand other residents took the streets in protest. The cause widely known to be acquittal of a four police officer who were brutally assaulted Rodney King. Okay, but there was another case that also grabbed the attention of Los Angeles at this time. Okay, the killing of a 15-year-old. Her name was Latasha Harlins on March 16, 1991. Okay, this happened in 91 for her, and with Rodney King, that happened in 1992. Okay, Harlins was shot and killed by a store clerk who accused her of stealing. Even though Latasha's killer was convicted by a jury of voluntary manslaughter, a judge allowed her to avoid jail time. It was among the catalysts for the Los Angeles riots. Killed and shot the girl, and she shot her in the back. And the girl was walking out, and she shot her in the back. And she was charged for the murder, for the manslaughter, but then I had to spend a day in jail. Did y'all hear me? She did not have to spend a day in jail. Isn't that sad? Hi, Shay baby. Hi. How you doing? Thanks again, Vibrant, for coming back. Blessings to you. So I'm going to continue reading this story to you guys. This is so sad, and it's very very sad, y'all. Um, and Vester, Ruth, and Christina sat down for a story corpse more than 30 years later to remember Latasha. Okay. Um, Even though Latasha Killer was convicted, okay, I read it. Latasha's sister, named Dr. Christina Rogers, and her brother, Vester Akuf, were 8 and 10 years old, respectively, when she was killed. The three children were being raised by their grandmother named Ruth Harlins. Okay. Vesta, Ruth, and Christina sat down for a story corpse more than 30 years later to remember Latasha. In 1992, the family started the Latasha Harlins Foundation in her name. They aim to make lasting change for low income and Black families and children in Los Angeles area. Okay. She was a young girl that got shot in the back because the lady thought she was trying to take some orange juice. The baby only 15 years old, you guys. only 15 years old. Why would somebody want to shoot a 15-year-old in the back because she thought she was trying to take some orange juice? That is a sad, sad story. You know what I'm saying? That's a sad way to, to leave. Can you imagine what the 14-year-old girl what was going through her mind? What was she thinking about getting shot back? Like I said, this is back in the early part of the 90s. Okay, this happened to her in 1991. When people still today, they can unalive somebody and get away with it. So that lady then spent a day in jail for taking a 15-year-old girl life. And the clerk was an older woman. Was an older woman. So let me pull this up real quick so you guys can. And it's very, very sad. When I seen this on Facebook a few days ago, and I said I'm going to talk about this story because it's sad, that she had to live, she had to leave. Okay, she was born on January 1st, 1976, and like I said, she got unalived March 16, 1991. Was only here for 15 years. She was an African American girl, again, who was fatally shot at the age of 15 in Los Angeles. Okay, and lady name is Soon Jadu. She's a Korean lady. Okay, and at that time she was 49 years old. Okay, she was Korean American, and she was a convenience store owner. Okay, and she said, dude was tried and convicted of voluntary manslaughter. That's I don't understand that over the killing. And remember, she shot her in the back, based in part on the security camera footage. The judge sentenced Dude to 10 years in state prison, but she only got 10 years at that. And when she got the 10 years, she still didn't have to go to jail. Her sentence was suspended. And the defendant was instead placed on 5 years probation with 400 hours of community service and paid a $500 restitution. And she had to pay for Harlan's funeral costs. Okay, the sentencing was widely regarded as extremely light and a failed appeal. Reportedly contributed to the Los Angeles riots, especially the targeting of the Korea's town. The killing came 13 days after the videotape police beating of Rodney King. That's sad, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The lady, she got, she was charged, and she was only convicted of manslaughter for 10 years. And then the sentences got suspended. Then it got suspended. Let That is so sad. And she was born January 1st, like I said, 1976, and on the East Street, Louis, Louis, Illinois. Oh, something about Illinois. To Crystal Harlins and Sylvester Okof Sr., Latasha had a younger brother, which it was Vester, and a younger sister named was Christina. So she was the oldest. The family moved from Illinois to South Carolina, um, Los Angeles in 1981. In 1982, when Latasha was 6 years old, her father took a job in steel foundry while her mother worked as a waitress in a local tavern. Okay. Um, Puff Sr. Was known to be abusive towards Crystal, attacking and beating her in front of Latasha and her younger siblings. Their unstable marriage ended in 1983. On November 27, 1985, Crystal was shot dead outside of a Los Angeles nightclub by Corey Anderson, Okoth's new girlfriend. Look at that. Y'all see that? By his new girlfriend. She was shot. Don't that kind of remind you of something that we talk about today? She was shot by her ex-husband's new girlfriend. Okay? Leaving Latasha and her younger siblings in the care of their maternal grandmother, Ruth Harless. In middle school, Latasha ran track and was one on the honor roll. Y'all see that? You see that? She was shot. The mother, Latasha's mother, name was Crystal. Okay, she was shot and killed by her ex-husband girlfriend. What is wrong with these people today? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what is wrong with these people today. So that happened in 1991. I like, wow, I remember that story. I was young. I was real young at that time, but I kind of remember that story. Like, wow, it's something to bring, to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was reading the story, how it was something similar to what's going on today with Romika was unalive by her baby's daddy's girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So that's a story that we be talking about on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? It's that stuff is still going on. It's still going on. The same stuff is still happening today. It never changed. When is it going to change? When are we going to stop hurting each other? When are we going to stop, um, being on these black on black crimes? When are we going to start building each other up? When are we going to start laying down the guns? You know what I'm saying? They they enjoy us, unaliving us. You know what I'm saying? Unaliving each other. What I'm trying to say. So my prayers go out to Latasha's sister. She's a doctor today. Her sister's a doctor, and her brother. I'm not for sure what he do. Okay, I'm gonna show you a picture of them. Let me share this real quick so you can see the picture of her brother and her sister. Share this real quick. Yeah, this is her sister right here. This is her sister, and that's her brother, and she's a doctor today. Yes. And her sister said, let me see if they're gonna play.
A note that the story contains a graphic description of violence. In April of 1992, 4 police officers, 3 of them white, were acquitted for the beating of Rodney King. It sparked 5 days of riots across Los Angeles. But there was another case, not as widely known, that helped set off the unrest. The same month Rodney King was beaten, 15-year-old Latasha Harlins was shot and killed by a store clerk in South Central while shopping. Here's her grandmother, Ruth, who the kids called Medea, remembering the day Latasha went to the store.
So I had to say, get some orange juice. But when she got there, the lady said she had seen her put something in her backpack, and she had the money in her hand to pay the lady. But when she turned around and to leave, the lady shot her in the head, and she died.
Latasha's brother, Vester, and her sister, Christina, were 10 and 8 when she died. They came to StoryCorps to remember her.
Latasha was so popular, I felt as though she was a celebrity because everyone knew her.
One of the favorite memories we had was when we used to be in the living room dancing and lip syncing over music like a talent show.
And we would have like spelling bees. We would sit down and our grandmother, Medea, would give us spelling words, and we knew Latasha would get them all right. She was just that smart.
Yeah, she was a caretaker. She cooked. She made sure we did our chores, did our homework. She made sure other people had before she had.
I remember we were at the park, and that's where the ice cream truck used to come. And a little girl didn't have enough money. And I remember Latasha buying that little girl an ice cream.
Yeah.
Walk me through the day Latasha died.
That morning, Medea, she asked me to go to the store, and I had a basketball game. So after that, I'm at the free throw line, and our cousin T ran into the gym screaming, "Tasha died! Tasha died!" I ran out the back of the gym, ran home.
She was killed. The hardest part about losing Latasha was not having that older protective sister that I had. She was just always a motivating factor in my life. I just knew that I was blessed to have an older sibling that looked after me, that loved me. And I want people to know that Latasha was an honor roll student. She wanted to be a lawyer. She wanted to buy our grandmother a big old house. She had dreams in life.
Yes. So that's a sad story. Very sad. So that's why to bring that back to you for one of our topics that I wanted to read. Do you remember? Hey, Miss Bams. Yes, Miss Bams. You know, Tuesdays and Thursdays is my days at 5:30. Okay, the next story that I want to real life story, and I know everybody should have remembered this one right here. Okay. This happened way back in the 70s, you guys. Um this who remember Jonestown? Okay. So we're gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna talk mainly about his sister. His sister's name is Deborah. Deborah was part of Jonestown as well. Okay. She was one of the main people used to take care of the finances there. But she got out of it and she was able to get away from it and was able to run away. She the one went to the police and told them what was going on at Jonestown. Okay. Her name is Deborah Layton, and she had a brother. He was the only one that got convicted. He did like 18 years for his part of of unaliving a couple people that was like in the higher ups and stuff that went over there. Okay, so we're gonna talk about her and a little bit about her brother as well, because she gonna mention her brother up in here, and she says she really don't like to even talk about this, too much. She's so embarrassing. But God uses us in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So she was shooken up, so she was able to get out of it. So we're just gonna read this story right here real quick, you guys, and then I'm gonna talk about a little bit what's going to upcoming for next week, and that's about it. Then we're going to end it. Okay. So, like I said, I just want to talk about, do you remember? I like these do you remember stories that people just forget about it. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Yes, yes, Ben. Let me go ahead and share this, and you guys can go ahead and read along with me. And she also got a book as well. Okay. So she's a Jonestown survivor, offers cautionary tales. Okay. And her name is Deborah Lynn. Um, this is her right here. Deborah, not Deborah Lynn, Deborah Layton. Once a highly trusted member of People's Temple, still feels ashamed for being involved in the cult led by Jim Jones. Okay, Jim Jones, I can't remember where he started his church at. He got people following him. Bam. This is when he had like over 900 some people um, drunk some poison. They all passed away from this juice. But a lot of people got away though. Okay. And she said, I always want to deny I had anything to do with it. She told a crowd Wednesday at Lincoln Land Community College. The shame I felt. You want to be famous for something good, she said, not because you're you were involved in something like this. 18 years after more than 900 people died at Jonestown in Ghana, Ghana, mostly by drinking cyanide or having it injected into their backs. Layton wrote a book about her experience that led her to a compound Jones had craved out of a jungle in South Africa. Seductive Poison, a Jonestown survivor story of life and death in the People's Temple, first published in 1998, has recently been released as an audible book by Randall House Audio. 4 weeks after she escaped Jonestown, okay, this when Deborah escaped Jonestown, um, she wrapped in dishonest concept of socialistic utopia in 1978. Layton then she was 20 years old. She signed an affidavit detailing the authoritarian horror of the enclave. Her affidavit led to her testifying before the United States Department officials 6 months later. Okay. After another 4 days, Congressman Leave Orion, which he got killed over there, okay, led a delegation to Jonestown to see for themselves because they probably couldn't believe her story. They probably couldn't believe the stuff that she was telling them. And you got to remember back in those days, I don't think no cell phones was out at that time. You know what I'm saying? Was no cell phones out. So they didn't have no phones to be able to call while they was there. Okay. I don't think now I got to look that part up. I could be wrong. Um, he was led to delegation to Jonestown to see for themselves. Five of the delegations, including Ryan, who was killed, and others wounded by People's Temple members in the airstrip of November 18th, 1978. And a lady that's telling this story, her brother was the one that unalive the Ryan guy. Okay. Um, what followed were the death of more than 900 temple members on orders from an increasing delusional and paranoid Jim Jones. Okay. Nobody committed suicide at Jonestown, Layton said. It was a massacre. Okay. Because he forced them to drink it. Because if they didn't drink it, he was going to shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Layton's nearly 2 hour presentation, sponsored by the LLCC Activity Board, was emotional despite the fact that she has been invited to speak at hundreds of colleges and high schools throughout the country since her book was published. And she said, I wrote 18 years after the massacre. She didn't write, she didn't think about it, she didn't do no writing to 18 years. Okay, she said. It took me that long to come to terms with it. Um, she says she has the most difficult time talking about her mother, who joined People's Temple after her daughter, and who died of cancer in Jonestown 10 days before the massacre. Okay. Layton's mother was Jewish, and she fled from the Nazi Germany. She's a heritage that was kept from Layton. Layton never knew that her mother was a Jewish and she ran for Nazi. A self-described spoiled brat until she was sent away to England to boarding school at the age of 16. She said she was troubled. She kept it a secret from me, Layton said. Of her interaction with her wealthy family, which consisted of her mother, her father, an older brother, and a sister, she said, I wish we had seen a psychologist. Instead, while at home for the summer, she went to a meeting in San Francisco and heard Jim Jones tell her that he felt an energy from you that even your parents don't know you have. So we got to be careful what we put in front of who we allow to speak to our children. Okay, this right here was sad because this man had a lot of followers following him. Got to be careful who you follow, y'all. He took them way out there to South Africa. Africa. They had their own little country, but they was hostages though. Okay. A grown up was telling me that I was special, she said. Jones convinced her, as well as her boyfriend who was visiting from England, to join People's Temple. I was slowly indoctrinated into believing I had to cut ties with friends. She said she couldn't have no more friends. She would have to break with her boyfriend, because he just wanted them to himself. Okay, it's sad. It's sad. It was too naive to realize that something was going on that was becoming much more dangerous. She said. At the age of 20, she was made one of the temple's financial secretaries, responsible for squirreling away the phenomenal amounts of money Jones was accumulating from temple members. Jones was appointed to potential office in San Francisco, including an appointment as head of the City of Housing Authority. Okay. But just before a reporter investigated a People's Temple and its finances was to be published, Jones fled to he fled. That's when he fled. He fled his members and took them over there to South Africa, where about 30 followers had established an agriculture community. Okay. He had hundreds of other flown in. Okay. 30 went. 30 went to got everything set up. Okay. Over there in South Africa. And then after that, he had the rest of them flying with all their finances. You know what I'm saying? Over there. Who was left in the United States to start closing down all of Jones's bank accounts. Okay. Leighton's mother, who herself joined the cult after seeing positive changes in her daughter, developed lung cancer. And Jones invited them to spend a month in Jonestown, which he said had a fabulous doctors and a medical unit. Okay. This is what Deborah saying. Okay. But on the way over, Deborah was ordered to turn over letters she had brought from relatives of temple members. Still, she saw light in the distance and decided it was okay to be okay. It looks like you were looking at us from far away, she said. Mm, mm, mm. But once at the compound, it looked like you were on the set of MASH. Okay, y'all remember that old movie MASH? That's how it looked. Lots of tents, wires hanging from posts with lights on them. The people already there came out to the truck, and it was like you were in a leopard colony. Colony. They were looking at what they had once been. When Deborah and her mother arrived at the 20, look, y'all. At the Deborah and her mother arrived at the 24 hours on a plane. 24 hours on a plane. And then 19 hours on a boat. And then several hours on a truck over what weren't even roads. Okay. She quickly realized she had brought her mother into what the older woman had once escaped. Okay. A concentration camp with armed guards. 24 hours on a plane. 19 hours on some water on a boat. And then several hours on a truck. Wow. Whew. Deborah said when she was sent to work for the temple in South African capital is called I don't know, Gainis, Gainis. I'm not for sure. It's the capital of Georgetown. It's somewhere up over there in South Africa. She wanted to tell her mother she was plotting to get back to the United States and somehow rescue her mother, and the hundreds of others who wanted to leave. but she couldn't because Jones would somehow know, because it took her a long time to get away because she was one of his top women. You know what I'm saying? She was over the finances. So if she was left, but she became missing because that's who she talked to. They talked every day. So if she became missing and left, he was gonna know. Okay. It could take me 4 months to get out, Deborah said. When she finally, got away. You know what I'm saying? He was hooked. I remember watching the movie. Watch the movie called Jonestown. Okay, you will see the movie. And she finally, but she did get away though. When she finally did get back to the United States, one of her brothers taped her for taped her for 4 days, and those tapes that are the basis of her book. Layton said it is difficult for her to talk about her brother Larry. Okay, Larry was the only one that got convicted for these crimes because everybody else was dead. Everybody else took the Kool-Aid. They call it Kool-Aid. Took the poison, they all died. So he the only one that lived. Okay. And he did 18 years and they got him out. His story is totally different. He got a story by himself. Okay. Even the people that who he shot helped get him out because they know he was brainwashed. All the people over there at Jonestown were all was brainwashed. Okay. Larry Layton, look him up, you guys. Okay. Who was the only person who prosecuted in a connection with the murder of Ryan, the delegation guy. That's the one that went up over there. He wanted to go see for himself, that see what she really told the truth, because he couldn't really believe what she was saying. So he had to go see for himself and end up losing his life. Him and a couple of more people, because some people had when he got there and he interviewed Jim Jones and stuff like that. And some when he was leaving, some people wanted to go as well. So by the time the people that wanted to go and leave and they got back to, it was a long walk, okay? It was a long walk back to where they had a lane that where they land their plane at. And then once they got back to the plane, that's when Deborah brother Larry and some other people had came out and started shooting them, okay? So that's how they all got what the guy in the plane was driving the plane, he was able to lift it up and was able to go back and tell a story. Okay. Larry Layton, who was the only person who was prosecuted in connection with the murder of Ryan delegation. He was convicted of wounding two people, but served 18 years in prison before being paroled in 2002. Despite the sentencing, judge's recommendation of a sentence is no longer than 5 years. Vern Guzno, a People Temple member, shot by Layton, and Lauren Budgeris, who was the chief probation officer from the Northern District of California, helped convince a parole board to release Layton. I had to tell this story, Deborah said. It it could happen to anyone. It is a cautionary tale from the inside out. So that's her story, okay? And like I said, and her brother got a story by himself. I'm not going to read his tonight because it's almost 6:30. And it's sad. It's sad that that happened way back in 1990. So you got to be careful who you let, feed your spirit. You got to be careful who you follow as well. Okay, let me stop screen share. You got to be careful of who you follow. Okay, because people can brainwash you. Okay, and that Jim Jones took all those people money. The people took all their monies out their savings account. They took they sold they had homes, they sold their homes, they sold their cars, they gave up everything just to follow Jim Jones over there in South Africa, somewhere way out there, and was nobody there but them. Was somebody there but them. Okay. And the reason why he had those people to go shoot Ryan instead of people that had left, because he brainwashed the people and told the people that they're gonna come back here, and they're gonna try to kill everybody here. You know what I'm saying? So he convinced those people believed what he said, and they all took, we call it Kool-Aid. Okay, we call it Kool-Aid. Let's go look it up. Jim Jones, you will read about him. It's a lot. It's a lot about him. A lot about Larry. Like I said, Larry was the only one left that was, beside Jim Jones. But like I said, he did 18 years, and probably should have did life, but they say he was brainwashed. And the reason why the sister didn't have to do no time, because she seen what was going on, and she got up out of there within 4 months. She was gone. So her mother, she was gone because her mom took that Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about that was, when they was taking the Kool-Aid, he came and spit it out because they was watching you. They either inject you with a syringe, or you had to drink it. And if you were drinking it, they was watching you, make sure that you had swallowed it. Okay. And then Jim Jones, I think he shot himself in the head. Okay. So that's do you remember stories that I talked about just now? Okay. I talked about Latasha Harlan, and I talked about Deborah Layton, which she was part of the Jim Jones spree. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So, but thank you guys for listening. I'm just going to talk um a little bit about just what's going on with the what Ramika case. I'm finna get back because I know some ladies is already live up over there and stuff. It's some misunderstanding of what's going on. Just want to see a lot of them. It's not content creators. They're just not really getting their channels and stuff, and they're coming from Facebook and getting channels up over here. They talking about Ramika, they talking about justice for Ramika, but they don't understand. Some don't understand what a content creator does. By being monetized. When you monetize, you got to have a lot of views for you to get paid for anyway. Like, I only can talk about me. I don't get paid from YouTube. Okay. When I do, it might be like 4 or 5 months down the road, because I don't go live every day. And when I do go live, I don't be live long hours and stuff. You got to have a lot of views to get paid. Okay. So a lot of people get cash apps. A lot of people get super chats and stuff like that. That's just what it is as being a content creator. Okay. Um, YouTube is not my lively source. This is not my job. This is a hobby for me. This is what I just like to do. You know what I'm saying? I just like to do this. Okay. Because before I had got sick, I didn't have time to be on YouTube. I had a job that I had to go to work. I only came on YouTube when I wanted to come on YouTube. But as a supporter of justice for Ramika, don't get sidetracked. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Okay, we all is in this together. No matter who go out there and go find certain information, you bring it back here on YouTube. It's okay for other YouTube content creators, to get the same information, because we all in this together. Okay. It's a team effort. Okay. I don't think, sometimes people might bless a content creator because they brought some good content out, and they probably want to cash up them, and they probably want to super chat them. That's okay if they do that, because if you go back and watch Upper Echelon, she did a nice video today and talking about that, and I agree with her 100% of what she's saying. Okay, 100% of what she's saying. But I'm a small YouTuber. Okay, I don't get what they get. Okay, they big YouTubers. Okay, so they probably getting paid every month. They probably hitting that threshold. You got to hit that $100 threshold every month for at least don't hit that threshold every month. Okay, I don't hit that every month. So I just want to make sure that we all, stay focused on Romika. Okay. It's not about us, it's about Ramika. Okay. It's about Ramika getting, her just, getting justice. Don't let nobody don't let nobody tell you, what you can speak on, what you cannot speak on. This is your platform. That's your platform. And Ramika is not the only person that got on live who content creators, spoke on with their monetization on. It's many. Hey, with the Kanika Jenkins case. When I first came on YouTube with Kanika Jenkins, I didn't do Kanika Jenkins. I didn't go live because I didn't, had no channel back then. I just be following, what I'm saying, and listening. I didn't get my channel until like 2018. Okay. She's not the it's a lot of people out here. There's a lady going on, it's on trial right now. And this happened back in 2019, and she just now going on trial that she was sleeping with a pastor and ended up unaliving a pastor because he broke her heart. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So that's going on right now. There's a lot of people is covering that story. I've been listening to that story as well. It's so much. It's so many real stories out here that content creators is covering. Different content creators is covering. And once you start following certain stories, you're going to end up meeting new content creators. Like I had met a lot of people from Facebook now that is covering the Ramika story. So I met a lot of people, and a lot of them don't understand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them come out, using their real name, and so when I get a chance, I'm gonna hopefully I'll be able to go on their panels and I'll be able to give them some do's and some don'ts and stuff because a lot of them don't know. I can tell they don't know at all because this is their first time getting a channel and stuff like that. And it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It really is. So I'm gonna have to just break down and be. Cause you guys know I don't like getting on panel. I like to just do my channel. I'm a chat person. I be in the chat and giving my opinion or whatever in the chat. That's just me. I don't like to get on nobody else's panel. But it seems like I'm going to have to do a live just for the new content creators so they can get some understanding of YouTube and be careful. Don't attach yourself to these people who you do not know. You might not never meet them, but some good people. Okay. But they got to be careful. You know, don't, when you meet some people, don't tell them your life story. Okay. It's called Mad Day. Okay. It's called Mad Day. Once y'all break up and start talking about each other and y'all told each other personal business, it's going to come out on YouTube. It always happened that way. You know what I'm saying? But you find some people like me, you know what I'm saying? Don't do stuff like that. But it's a lot of people that do it. So once you see a content creator does that, put your business out here on YouTube, trust me, they gonna do it to you too. It's gonna happen to you once y'all fall out. Okay? It happens all the time. So, well, anyway, it is 6:38. Thank you guys for listening to me. I got to go in there and give me something to eat because I'm hungry. Okay, I did some baked chicken, so I'm gonna eat me some baked chicken and some green beans and some cornbread. And thank you all for listening to me. And I'll be back on Tuesday. I might do a random live. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do random lives at times too. That means a random live for me is when I just decide when to go live. I decide I just want to talk about something. So I think that's probably gonna be one of my random lives to talk to the new people that is being content creators and tell them the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them, to be careful. Be careful. Okay. So, but I'll be back on Tuesday for sure. It's Real Table Talk at 5:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays is dedicated for Ramika. okay? And definitely on Thursdays it's gonna be, do you remember? Okay, I'm going back to get some old stuff back in the days and bringing back, do you remember? Okay, we're gonna talk about that on Thursdays, okay, or something else. Depends on how I feel on that Thursday, okay. So definitely keep Ramika in your prayers, not her family and her in your prayers, especially her son. And again, um, did I download that? Let me see. I know they dang, did I download that? Hold on, you guys. Let me see if this is. I don't know if I downloaded it or not. No, I didn't. I got it in my email. But I'm just going to share this real quick. I made this announcement on Tuesday during Ramika, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. For the family. Then we're going to shut down for the ones who do watch the replay and stuff. Okay. You know, Yeah, this little flyer that's going around. Got this off of Facebook, off of I think it was Travel's page. They saying we appreciate the love and support. If you are wishing to bless Ramika's son, she said you can please Zelle Ramika's mother. And her name is Tina McMiller. Okay. And you can also email her. You can see it right here at the top. It's called Mrs. Tina, MRS Tina .McMiller 19 at yahoo.com. You can go ahead and email her, and she will give you the Zelle information, okay? And everything is going towards Ramika's son, okay? Because he's gonna have Christmas, without his mom, and it's so sad. And it's so sad. So I'm stop sharing that, okay? So I definitely wanted to share that with everybody, okay? So I think that's about it, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my live now, and thank you all for tuning in. Remember, justice for Ramika, and also be careful who you allow feed you. Be careful who you follow. Okay, don't let nobody brainwash you. Okay, so that's about it. I think that's about it, you guys. So peace out and blessings to you guys. Bye. Okay.
Through the shadows where the storms collide, she stands with courage as her guide. Her whispers echo louder than screams, faithful to God through broken dreams. She's the silent storm, unshaken, strong. Thursdays, the table set for stories shared, no room for regret. At 5:30 sharp, hearts come alive. Together we heal, together we thrive. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the table set for stories shared,